From the Ear to There Travel Studio, this is the Ear to There Disney Podcast.
Welcome aboard the Ear to There podcast, the podcast that'll help you vacation like a pro in any Disney destination. For those of you standing, please sit down and hold on throughout our journey and get ready to learn how to have the time of your life. And now, here's your host, Phil Gramlich.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Ear to There Disney Podcast. I am your host, Phil Gramlich. I am also the owner and the operator of Ear to There Travel, which is a Disney specialized travel agency. I have found my calling, and that calling is to help you avoid all that stress, all that anxiety, and all that time that it takes for you to plan a Disney trip so you can focus on the fun things like having a great time with your family and friends and enjoying the magic. And really quickly, I wanted to mention that I will be looking to expand, and I will be looking to bring on independent contractors for Ear to There Travel very soon. So I'll be looking for very dedicated, very hardworking individuals who are extremely passionate about helping other people with their Disney vacations. If you would like some more information on what I'll be doing in the future, you could always email me at phil@eartotheretravel.com. Okay, this is episode number 107 for the week of January 29th, 2018. Now, grab a drink, grab a snack, and as a famous mouse once said, on with the show. And of course, before I get into the topic of this week's show, it is time for the What About Bob segment. So each and every week, Bob Gurr comes by and he answers one of your questions. So if you have a question about Disneyland, Walt Disney World, any of the attractions, really anything concerning Disney or the history of the company, Bob would love to hear from you. Oh, and if you don't know who Bob is, Bob designed things like the Matterhorn, the monorails, the submarines, the Doom Buggy, the list goes on and on and on, and I can't mention it all here. But if you have a question for Disney legend and Imagineer Bob Gurr, please call the voice line at 267-551-1971, or you can always email it to me at phil@eartotheretravel.com. Of course, this week and every week's Ask Bob is brought to you by the Waltland Bus Tour. Each month, Bob narrates and hosts a tour around Southern California with stops in Burbank, and Glendale, and in Los Angeles. He stops at all the famous and historical sites in the history of the Disney company, and of course, in the life of Walt Disney. To get tickets for this tour, just head over to www.waltland.com. So here he is, Disney legend, Bob Gurr.
It's What About Bob? Bob Gurr, the legend, creator of the Matterhorn, the monorails and the Haunted Mansion. What about Bob, the Disney legend?
This question is from Megan in Colorado. And Megan said, I've seen the videos of Disneyland's opening day. But recently I heard a story that you were babysitting some Hollywood stars' kids during the opening day ceremonies on Disneyland's opening day. Is that a true story?
Yes, it is. Yeah. No, I can't remember her name. She was a really, really good-looking redhead lady. I used to know the name, and I completely forgot it. And every once in a while, I try to figure out, the old folks know which lady was it. She had two little boys, maybe 7 or 8, something like that. And I was, as we were preparing for the opening day parade, we had all the parade elements all kind of backstage out behind the Opera House area. And so I was kind of hanging out by the City Hall, because I had about 12 Autopia cars that I was in charge of. We got to put that, the platoon of those into the parade at a certain point. But anyway, Walt was there with this lady and introduced me and said that he wanted to show her around a bit. And then he says, well, come with me. Bobby will take care of the boys for a while. And so I wound up these two little kids with me, and of course Walt had already told them that I'm the guy that designed the car. Naturally, you got these two kids in your hip pocket. You know, they just glommed onto me, and I thought, well, he's coming back. Well, I didn't catch up with that woman until way late in the day. Somehow he squired her around with his family and everybody, knowing that I had the kids. And boy, that made my day complicated. Wherever I went, I had these two boys. And then we got over to the Autopia, and they had the part of the TV program where they open this and they open that and everything. And we had a long line there, and people were jumping over the fence at Autopia to commandeer cars even before they got back to the load station. And there were a lot of movie stars there. Frank Sinatra was there, and Art Linkletter and guys like that. And these two little kids, I was driving them in the car, and the speed wasn't controlled well because the governors weren't working well in the engine. And there was a guy in front of us, and the kid said, "Get him, get him, get him." And coming back down the hill, I remember I hit the car, and it went up off of the curb and stopped. And as we went by, the kids were laughing. And then the next morning, I look in the LA Times, and here's a picture of the guy that I saw, and he was a short black guy with an eye patch. And I thought, oh my God, that was Sammy Davis Jr. And I never did catch up with that man in later years to apologize, because those kids made me do it. Because all these movie people, they all knew each other. They're just having fun. But I felt so sorry that I smacked this poor short black guy with the eye patch.
So you're knocking Sammy Davis Jr. off the road on opening day. I've seen the video. I've seen him. I own a copy, of Disney came out with the opening day, the metal box set. I've seen him, go by Art Linkletter, and Art Linkletter says, there's Sammy Davis Jr. And that's funny that you ended up smashing him off the road a little while later.
Yeah, when the cameras were over in Tomorrowland, all the fancy movie people were out there. It was just, to me, it was like, well, it's a normal Hollywood party that Walt's throwing here, and I still got these two kids. But I did walk them back to the city hall, and then she was there, and so I got rid of them.
Thanks again to Bob for answering yet another question. I love that answer. Love that story. It's so cool to have Bob on the show to hear stories like that. So not only had Bob designed the Autopia and built the cars, he was driving them on opening day, he was a babysitter, and he ran Sammy Davis Jr. off the road. I love it. I never heard that story. What a cool story. So thank you again to Bob, and thank you to Megan for providing the question. Again, if you have a question for Bob, please call the voice line. The phone number is 267-551-1971. And I will make sure Bob answers your question in an upcoming episode of the show. Okay, now on to episode 107, and it is time for a showdown. Yes, that's right. It's time for a showdown now. I try to do different things on these shows, try to bring in different types of episodes, and I floated this idea past my guest a few days ago, and he was all for it. And that should have been my first tip-off that something was wrong. Because it had nothing to do with Christmas, it had nothing to do with 80s TV, or did it? Anyway, this is a head-to-head trivia contest between me and my guest. We've both been in our soundproof booths for a couple of hours now. We're ready to rock, so here we go. Here to accept my challenge of the Walt Disney World Trivia today is a man who I'm afraid came up with the toughest questions imaginable, and I'm afraid I'm going to have to sign my show over to him. Mr. Chuck Rodriguez, welcome back to the show.
Thank you, Phil. Thank you.
So, yeah, I think I have a feeling that I'm really in trouble here. Because when I came up with my questions, I was like, well, they have to be ones that Chuck will kind of have a fair chance of getting, and ones that the listener will also have a fair chance of knowing. What was your strategy when you came up with your questions?
That I refuse to lose because I'm pretty sure you'd tell me to eat cheese at Walt Disney World.
So, what's funny is that's true. So the loser here, the one that gets the fewer answers correct, will have to eat the winner's choice of an unusual food in Walt Disney World. Did we say Epcot or just Disney World?
You did say Epcot, which makes sense.
So I think we're going to, you and I, here's the plan. We're going to be hanging out in March. The plan was for whoever loses this, we'll go on Facebook Live, right on my business page. We will record on Facebook Live the buying of the unusual snack and the loser eating the unusual snack. I think that's only fair. What do you think?
It is fair.
All right. And I'm going to broadcast it on Facebook Live, and then I'll put it on Instagram and Twitter and the regular Facebook page and all that stuff. So I don't want to lose. I don't want to lose because I host a show about Disney. But I have a bad feeling. As Han Solo, Luke Skywalker, everyone, Indiana Jones says, I have a bad feeling about this. Chuck, this is my livelihood we're talking about here, all right? Just so you know. Listen, look and think of what you hold in your hands right now before we get started.
I mean, the thing is, I honestly would feel that most people would get these, or at least have an idea of these 5 questions.
All right, so this is not going to be edited at all. We're gonna, and listen, there's no timer, but I'm not going to run a 30-second timer or something, but we have an internal timer, and we know if we know the question right off the bat. Of
course, I would admit in a second if I.
Yeah, I'm not going to be Googling. Yeah, I'm not going to be Googling and hitting.
No, me neither.
All right, so who wants to go first? Who wants to ask the first question? Should it be me or should it be you?
I think it should be you.
All right, Chuck, your first question number 1, and I already know what you're eating if you lose. I already know. So I'm not going to announce it yet because I want it to be exciting for those who tune into the Facebook Live show. But
is it sad that I don't know what I would make you eat because I am so preoccupied in my mind all the time about what I eat that I never think about what other people don't like to eat or do like to eat?
Just know I have some food phobias, and a few of them are at Epcot. You can talk to my wife; she'll help you.
Well, obviously, she'll help me pick. Obviously,
yeah. I don't need help. I got it already. All right. So, question number 1 from me to you. We all know about the old magic shop, the House of Magic on Main Street, USA. But there was once another magic shop in Magic Kingdom. What was the name of that other magic shop?
Merlin's?
Darn. That is right. So that's So Merlin's Magic Shop was located in Fantasyland, in Magic Kingdom between 1972 and 1986. That's the caliber of question you're going to be getting from me. So I'm worried because now. So who's going to keep score? You're up 1-0. You got
Yes.
You fired. What does he say in First Blood? What does Rambo say? You drew first blood. So you drew first blood. So now you're up, or I'm up in your question.
Okay.
I'm worried.
So, but and just to be clear, this is the same question that I asked you as a little preview of what we were doing, but you would have to give a different answer than the one you gave earlier. Because there are multiple answers. I mean, I would accept at least 3 or 4 that are in my mind that I feel are relatively obvious. So here's the question. Name one of several well-known physical changes made to the Magic Kingdom in its first year of operation because Walt Disney Imagineering realized it rains in Florida a lot.
So I can't give you my original answer, which was they covered the outdoor portion of the Haunted Mansion queue.
Correct.
I can't give you that answer, but I was right.
Of course.
Okay, I'll give you my second guess.
Okay.
My second guess is they put a roof on top of the Mad Tea Party.
That is correct, of course.
Yes! Oh, 1 for 1.
I always thought.
Chuck, you have no idea how excited I am that I got that right.
Nah, I figured you'd get that one. And I always when with my family, when this has come up, when like trivia things come up once in a blue moon when we go on trips, and when we go there for the day, and we love to imagine. I mean, easily, like in an August Florida thunderstorm, the cups would have literally filled up with water in less than an hour.
Yeah,
I do not know what they were thinking.
That's a good point. It is a good point. You'd be sitting in like a little bathtub.
And I know there's people online who are obsessed with trying to get, the few little video clips or pictures that does show the tea party without the roof. I have seen a couple. I'm sure it's hard, but I have seen a couple.
That's kind of why I thought of it, was it came to my head. Actually, The reason I thought of it was I thought of Disneyland. I was trying to think of what out in Disneyland is different than in Magic Kingdom. And the tea party out there has, the lit up lanterns over it, but there's no roof.
Yes, correct.
Which the lanterns weren't there on opening day. It was just a wide open.
No, that
sunny...
was a post 1983 thing, I'm sure.
Yeah. So anyway, this is about Disney World, not Disneyland. Okay.
Correct.
All right. So we're all tied up after the first round. That's exciting. Okay. Question number. I feel like we're on Jeopardy here. Should you have to? You have to now. You know what? Now I'm going to give you the answer, and you have to. No, I'm kidding. You have to answer it. Yes. What is the Mad Tea Party? Okay. For you, Chuck. Question number 2. You came up with 5, right? By the way.
Yes, I did do 5.
Good.
Yes.
All right. Good. That would be a shocking thing if we both came up with the same question. I think. I don't think we.
Yeah, I figured that wouldn't happen. Okay, number 2.
Okay. What?
How many times?
Wait. Are you asking me?
Oh, no, it's you. I'm sorry.
You.
Yes.
Don't. Come on, Chuck. You're confusing me.
Messed up the order. Go ahead.
I was like, did I get 2 right already? What? What was the name? This is your second question. What was the name of the original boat attraction at Disney's Animal Kingdom that took you around the Tree of Life? What was the name of that attraction?
Discovery River Boat Cruise?
I'm going to give it to you. That's not the exact name. You're right on. It's Discovery River Boats. There was no cruise.
Okay, there was no cruise at the end.
So originally, you're correct. So we'll say you got 2. The attraction was originally called the Discovery River Boats, but no one could figure out, is it an attraction? Is it transportation? What the heck is it? People thought they were getting in line for the Jungle Cruise when they got in line for that kind of experience. So then they called it Discovery Riverboat Taxis to kind of show that it was transportation. That still didn't work. Then they called it, remember what it became, what it was right before they closed it? What it was called? For
not the
points?
Actual name.
It was called the Radio Disney Cruise.
Oh,
before they shut
Lord.
it down. You literally would ride around in a circle and listen to like Radio Disney music. Like
was that during, before, or after, I guess, when they would have a person on the boat showing you animals like tarantulas?
Yeah, so that was still the Discovery River Boats, and then the taxis, they did that. And then when it became the Radio Disney Cruise, you would literally just listen to Radio Disney as you rode around, and then finally they shut it down because it was the biggest dissatisfier in the park. Nobody got it. So it was the first ever completely for good shuttered attraction in Disney's Animal Kingdom. First one ever shut down. And now they occasionally use those docks for meet and greets and stuff, but they're really there. When I worked there, I used to, when I was custodial and I had to go out onto the docks to get the trash cans, I remember walking past that queue and being like, oh man, this is like a 40
Why are you here?
Yeah, it's like this is a 40-minute queue. And there's nothing. They did have do you remember the fire-breathing dragon that they had?
Yeah, I do remember that. Well, it wasn't a dragon.
No, I know. No.
Shape of a dragon.
It was a cave where fire shot out of. It wasn't really a dragon. So, no. So, yeah, but that was one of the original kind of mythical things in the park that was there on opening day and didn't last long. All right, Chuck. No. I'm ready for your second question. I'm ready to get it wrong. But right now, it's 2-1 me. No, 2-1 you. 2-1 you, not me.
How many times does the Raven appear in the Haunted Mansion?
Oh, that's tough.
And I think technically it should be a Part A, Part B question where you have to say where the times?
Oh, I'm not doing that. Forget that. I don't know the answer. Off the top of my head, I don't know. I'm going to say 4.
It is 4, actually. But I feel like now you have to say the 4 seeds.
Oh, no. Nope. Since I got it right, hey, I don't know when it started becoming.
Right.
When was this renamed the Chuck Rodriguez Show? I got that one right. I'm not going any further into. But why don't you tell us?
Guess. You were just like, I'm either going to say 3, 4, or 5, and you just guessed 4.
I knew that one the entire time. Why don't you tell us where the 4 spots are for the Raven?
Well, it was I'm trying to think now. The scene with the guy in the what would you call that?
Not so easy, is it, Chuck?
In the coffin,
right? Voiced by Exitencio, by the way, that guy.
Sure, the Madame Leota scene.
Sure.
Up in the tree, as soon as you come out of the attic and you start going down backwards.
Okay, is that 3?
And then at the end, right before you go into the room where the ghost follows you home.
Okay, so there you go. So that's 4.
Yeah, that's 4.
Well done.
At Disneyland, there's a 5th.
Where's the 5th?
In the ballroom.
Really?
Yes.
Where? I don't remember seeing.
I do not recall. I would have to watch video because I do not remember.
Oh, cool. That's cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
And there's also the spider web on the glass in the ballroom in Disneyland too.
I don't remember that either.
So the story behind it is you really can't see it. In I believe the late 60s, early 70s, they noticed a crack in the. So it's the Pepper's Ghost effect. I just actually talked about this in my last word of the week with it was about Gracie, and he designed that room, the ballroom scene, using the Pepper's Ghost effect. And I'm not going to explain it because I don't want to ruin the magic for people because it still works like so well. It's such a cool effect. But in front of you, when you're riding through the ballroom scene, are huge panes of glass, right? And someone in the late 60s, early 70s either shot or used a slingshot or something at that glass. People don't know if it was a bullet, if it was a slingshot, or what. Hit the glass and put a huge crack in it. And Disney wanted to pull that pane of glass out and replace it, but then they realized, well, we can't do that because it's too expensive and it's too risky to take that out. What'll happen to the rest of the wall of glass there? So instead of taking it out, they put a decal or a painting of a spider web over the crack to make it look like there's a spider web hanging there. When in reality, there's a bullet hole or a hole from a slingshot there. I thought that was pretty cool. It's pretty neat.
Yeah.
Pretty neat little Disney trivia. You never know what you're going to get on the show, Chuck. You never know.
Never know.
All right. So we're tied up 2-2. That's pretty good. I didn't expect to be doing this well. Especially after my extremely educated guess on the Ravens. I'll admit, I didn't know that was 4. I'm not lying. You're right. I was going between 4 and 5. I got lucky.
Yeah, that's what I figured most people would.
I got lucky. All right. So your next question. Where exactly, now this needs to be exact, in Walt Disney World will you find the Strait of Gibraltar? Where will you find that?
Well, I've never heard of this, but because I know geography, I'm going to say between France and Morocco.
That is absolutely correct. Dude, good job pulling that one out. I think that's a tough one. So I think a lot of people, even if you know what the Strait of Gibraltar is, you still might have a tough time figuring that out. That's because it could have been in a couple other places. But, yeah, the next time you're at Epcot, so when you're walking through World Showcase, take a look down while you're walking between Morocco and France, and you'll see a strip of pavement that's, dark, and it's different. It's like cobblestones. And that represents the Strait of Gibraltar, which, of course, connects the, off the top of my head, Mediterranean Sea to the Atlantic Ocean. And it separates Africa from Europe. So there you go. Chuck, look at you. High school education, college education paid off for you today.
I must admit, I'd never heard that. I know that people do refer to the the International Gateway River as being the channel, between UK and France.
Right.
But I must admit, I never realized that on purpose they actually did mark the space between Morocco and France.
Yeah, pretty cool. And there was actually supposed to be a Spain pavilion there in between the two, right? And that would have become it would have come before France, which would make it actually geographically accurate. But still, that's where it is. You're exactly right. Good, educated guess on that one. I'm proud of you. And so now wait, I'm messing the score up. So is it 3? No, what is it? 3-2 you? How many questions did I ask? I need you to keep score for me, Chuck.
I mean, let's see. I've done
right.
3 and you've done 2, and we've all gotten each other's right.
Oh, so. Man, you got. All right, I got to get. You got to.
Now you have to try 3 against 3.
Gotcha.
Now. Okay. What were the titles of the 2 awesome theme songs of the original pre-Ellen Universe of Energy ride?
Oh, you got. I don't know. I
really?
Darn, yes. No, I know this off the top of my head. I'm not going to get it. I'm not going to get it. No way. What are they?
Not even with a guess. Obviously, it was 2 songs, one for the pre-show and one for the ride itself.
Oh, I want to slam my head into the microphone right now. It's like I'm trying to remember. I can't remember the names. I can't. What do we got? Let me have it.
Well, the pre-show was Energy, You Make the World Go Round.
Darn. Yep. Okay.
And the actual attraction song was The Universe of Energy.
I should have gotten that, I think.
I assumed you would have gotten it. I mean, it wouldn't have been partial credits. You would have lost anyway. But
oh, thanks. I gave you said the Discovery Riverboat Cruise. I gave it to you, and it was Discovery Riverboat. So
okay, but you didn't say anything. You gave up before you. I told you. Are you sure you don't want to guess?
No, it's a good point. I did give up.
Okay,
I did.
Because if you had said like Universe of Energy and Energy Around the World, I might have given it to you.
All right, so I don't even get partial credit, but I'm okay with that.
No, okay.
I think so. When, off the top of your head, this isn't a trivia question. When did Universe of Energy get a switch to Ellen's Energy Adventure?
Ellen, I want to say it was right before Test Track opened, so maybe like 95-ish, 96-ish.
All right, so okay, I should have known that because I was definitely there several times in that window. I just didn't get it. All right. Fair enough. Oh man, now this one's so easy. My next one for you. I'm definitely losing. I can see your wheels turning in your head. What am I going to make him eat in Epcot? All right. Your 4th question. Okay. Man, this is too easy. I didn't get any backups. What was the name of the original fireworks show that guests could see nightly in Disney's MGM, now Hollywood Studios?
Sorcery in the Sky.
Yeah, that's right. I have background, of course. It opened in 1990, closed in 1998. I remember watching it on my college program frequently because I had roommates that worked in Hollywood Studios. We would actually go all the time over there because Tower of Terror was still fairly new, so we would go ride that a whole bunch and then watch Sorcery in the Sky. It was a great show. It was too easy of a question. So,
remember the inflatable Mickey that it would appear at the end?
Yeah, the whole. I always wondered what that popped out of. What was it? The top of the building, right?
I don't know if it was the roof or it was behind. It never seemed like it was he was just standing on top of the roof. It always seemed like it was behind the building.
Yeah, it was a neat effect, and it was a good show. And yep. All right, what do you got? Next one.
Okay. What is the name of the construction crew Muppet that his coworkers keep calling out for at the very start of the Muppet Vision 3D pre-show video?
Oh, God. Chuck, you're killing me, Smalls.
Technically, you just got it right.
Chuck?
Yes.
Yes. Hey, I did get it right. Is it really Chuck? That's a good question.
Yes, it is. That's why I always I never get there early enough anymore, but when I used to go just so I could hear Chuck, hey Chuck.
Did you answer or did you just listen? That's a good one, man. That's a good question. I would not have gotten that, but I will gladly take the credit since I am losing.
Yeah, you might as well.
That is really funny. That's also the one where it's a great pre-show with Rizzo and da 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 da, and he's like, "Hey, it's me, Mickey Mouse," and he's like, "Oh, they're tourists." Yeah, they're tourists. What do they know? Yeah, I love that. I for one, I'm hoping they put a new Muppet 3D show in there. I know people are hoping that something, but they named that area Muppet Courtyard, right? So I would hope they get a new Muppets 3D show or something. Because it
doesn't have to be let's at this point, it doesn't have to be 3D shows are probably out.
Yeah, you're good. That's a good point.
I say 3D shows are going to be phased out in the next 5 or 10 years. It'll have to be something where it's like augmented reality, where the Muppets will be sitting right in the seat next to us or something.
That's fine with me too. The augmented reality where, yeah. I saw you, by the way, around Christmas.
Oh, yeah, the Jedi Challenge?
Yeah. So, I know not everyone that listens to the podcast is friends with Chuck on Facebook. So, on Christmas morning, I'm like cycling through my Facebook newsfeed, and all of a sudden I see Chuck in like this helmet with a lightsaber in his hand. And I was like, what is he doing? And it was you. Was it an augmented Star Wars game?
It is, yes. So it is like you're battling the people right there in the living room. So you can still see the living room and everyone else.
But the guys are there with you.
Yes, correct.
It's really cool. You haven't gotten over to do the
no, not yet.
We got to do that. Maybe that's another thing we can add in March or April.
It's still there when you guys come back. I don't know if it was supposed to be a limited time. I haven't read.
I think they're still doing tickets for it now. I think. I don't know. We'll check. We'll see on that. All right. So, all right. Well, I'm going to give myself that one correct. I'm going to get, even though you're going to. Well, you know what? I might have a chance on this question. You might not get it right.
Okay.
Okay. So I asked this one on one of my Facebook trivia nights. And
okay.
I think it's going to drive you crazy because you don't watch my Facebook trivia nights. I don't think.
No, I've said that I have not seen them. Well, I think maybe 1 or 2. That's it.
Thank you for the support. So, so I asked this question and nobody believed me, so I had to show photographic evidence that it was correct. So, what was the original name of the Swiss family treehouse in Magic Kingdom? The original name.
I mean, are you sure there's not going to be one of those, like the one you asked me earlier, you were wrong?
I was right on that, by the way.
No, well,
you were thinking of the wrong spot.
It was the wrong store. That Swiss Family Robinson actually had a different name, on a sign when it first opened in 1971?
And on the guide map and on the promotional materials for the park. Dead air.
I mean,
dead air.
I'm just going to guess. I'm going to say Swiss Family Robinson Adventure.
Incorrect. I'm sorry, Chuck.
No, that's fine. Where was it?
The original name of the attraction was the Swiss Family Island Treehouse. That was the official name.
The Swiss Family Island Treehouse. I could see that. Did it say when they switched to the name that we all know and actually believe is the true name?
Yeah. So I'm not quite sure. It was somewhere in the mid to late 70s. The map that I have hanging on my wall in my office has Space Mountain on it, and that still calls it the Swiss Family Island Treehouse.
Okay, so at least till 75.
Right. So there you go.
Okay, that's
all
it.
Right. This puts all the pressure on me, because if I get this right, we have a stalemate, and then when we get to Epcot in March, you and I will actually have to fight to the death.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if you saw that in the email I sent you.
No, I didn't realize you had already planned for that to happen.
It was in a fine print. Yeah, we have to fight to the death right in the middle of Epcot. So that's the. Actually, I didn't think of what to do. I should have planned this podcast out. I didn't think what to do in the event of a tie. So let's hope I get this one wrong. Go ahead. What do you got?
Okay. What was the announced new name going to be for the Pleasure Island area before the plans morphed into what became Disney Springs?
Hyperion Wharf.
Damn it! Yes.
Cannot say that on the show. I will have to keep that out.
It's 2018. That's you definitely can say that.
It's a G-rated podcast.
It's not 1918.
It's G-rated, Chuck. All right. So I was right. I that was, as soon as you said it, I was like, cha-ching, I got it. All right. Okay. So I'm going to pause. Here's what we're going to do. This is a stalemate. I didn't expect this. Obviously, they're not prepared enough. So here's what I'm going to do. We're both going to think of one more off the top of our head, difficult question, and the other person has to answer it. Now, I will pause. I want to pause the recording here, and then we will come back in a minute with our difficult question. You ready?
Okay.
All right. If you got one, I'm not even going to pause it. This part's not going to be saved on the show. Or maybe it will. Let's just see what happens. So, all right. Okay. I got one. I have mine. I know what mine's going to be. You come up with one, and then we'll kind of go from there.
I did have one that I was going to use earlier, but I don't know if I should make it harder, because obviously this is this is more important.
I don't care if it's hard. Make it. I don't care. If I lose,
I think
if I lose, I had a good enough showing that I'm not going to feel like a dope if I lose.
Wait, I'm trying to remember. There was one other question that I had in mind, over an hour ago, and maybe that one's better.
Is that Price is Right?
I got it.
The Price is Right noise.
I got it. Yes,
Okay.
exactly.
You ready?
Okay, I got one.
All right. So now we are back. We both pondered. We both figured out our questions. And I guess, is it your turn? No, my turn to ask you, right? First? Yes. So
Yes.
we're tied 4-4. Chuck, I ask you, what company was the original sponsor of Space Mountain in Magic Kingdom?
RCA.
Darn! You got it right away, too. I thought that was tough.
No, that one's easy.
Oh, man, the darn sign. You can instantly imagine that sign in your head, can't you? I shouldn't have done that one. I had other ones I could have chosen. Darn. All right, go ahead. What do you got? This is it. This is for, I'm eating the worst snack ever at Epcot, where I have a feeling you're going to make me eat something raw or something. That's what I'm nervous about, but all right, go ahead.
I thought for you, it would just simply be anything that normal people think is delicious and tasty. So.
Yeah, all right, then I can't lose then. So whatever. What do you got?
Okay. What two actresses hosted Walt Disney World's 15th anniversary celebration in January of 1986 on NBC?
Oh my God, I'm done on that. Done. No idea. On what year was it?
1986.
1986. What two actors?
I believe it aired in January of '86. Even though obviously that's
right
way off from the actual birthday in October.
3 months off the date. Let me think. I'm going back to '86.
Actually, it might have aired January of '87. Yeah, it might have. But anyway,
'87. Okay.
And it aired on NBC. Back then it was not ABC exclusive thing.
I'm getting my hints. I'm still not going to get it because I was thinking parks. I remember seeing this video on YouTube. Yes, I am stalling, by the way.
I had it recorded on VHS when I was a kid, and I've now on YouTube. Yeah, you can find it in a second.
Okay, I'm not going to. I have my hands in my pockets, and I'm standing up.
I trust you. I know you.
So I don't YouTube it. I don't know, though. So I'm going to lose gracefully, but I'm going to still take a guess.
Of course.
And my guess will be... I'm going to get... I'm going to say... Kathy Lee Gifford, and let's say 80s. I don't even know if she was an actress. Kathy Lee. I know she did a show. I'm saying Kathy Lee and Tina Yothers.
Well, that's funny because Tina Yothers was on Disneyland's 30th anniversary, which aired in 1995. Although she wouldn't host, but she was definitely in a scene. Yeah.
Darn. All right, who was it?
So I thought the fact that it was NBC, because obviously when they do specials on the networks back in the day, they only tried to use people from on shows from their network. It was, and of course it's 2 out of my 4 favorite women on the planet. It was B. Arthur and Betty White.
I should have known it was the darn Golden Girls. I should have known.
I honestly thought you would, and then you would have had a 2 out of 4 chance of which of the 2 out of the 4 hosted.
I was going to say Estelle Getty and B. Arthur. Is that right? All right, Chuck. I am wrong. I got less correct. You know what though? I'm proud of my showing. I think that's pretty good. I think I did decently. I'm not embarrassed to continue to host the Disney podcast because I think I did well. I think I got the questions that I should have gotten right. I got right. You, unfortunately for me, but probably fortunately for every listener and fortunately for everyone who catches any of the live broadcasts, you beat me. So that should be fun to watch me eat whatever you come up with. So let's say we're coming down in March.
Yes.
And we're going to hang out we're coming down for the Disney cruise. So we're going to hang out after the Disney cruise. So around March 20-something, the 27th maybe, was when we should do this Facebook Live. I'll put it out there on my Facebook page. Of course, that's facebook.com/eartotherphil. I'll put it on my website, eartothertravel.com. Yeah, it's going to be out there. But congratulations to you, Chuck. Well played.
Thank you, but I just have to put in there, if it's March 27th, that night is the premiere of the reboot of Roseanne, so I'm not going out that night.
You can't DVR it? Come on, man.
I'll think about it.
Oh, this is for the podcast. It's already committed. I actually don't know. I don't even know what date it is. We'll let you know. We'll get
it's around there, but it's not. I don't think it's the 27th.
No,
itself.
you're right. It's not. It's like the 29th or 30th or something like that. So we'll be fine. So, all right, Chuck. Well, this is a lot of fun, man. I had a lot of fun doing this one. And thank you again for recording. And I would ask if you have anything to plug, but I'm afraid you're going to make something up like Johnny Schwartzler does on the show.
That's right. Nothing. I won't even bother.
I do. You're just going to something's going to, Anyway, thank you again. It's a lot of fun. And I'm looking forward to whatever you have cooked or uncooked for me in March.
All right.
And that is going to do it for this week's episode of the Ear to There Disney Podcast. Thanks once again to my friend Chuck Rodriguez for stopping by and for playing Disney trivia with me today. I feel like I was in a rigged Florida election, right? I need a recount. I guess I lost. I don't know. Well, technically, I guess I should have lost in regulation because Chuck gave me the one when I just simply said the name Chuck. And I wasn't really answering, but I said anyway. So, all right, I'll give it to him. He won. So keep an eye on your Facebook feed. Make sure you set me, Phil from Ear to There Travel, to see first on your Facebook feed. You won't want to miss when Chuck and I go live and I have to eat whatever Chuck comes up with at Epcot. I'm not afraid of a lot of stuff. I mean, I eat sushi. I'm not super adventurous with the food in the Morocco pavilion. I am a little bit worried about the dried food in the department store at the Japan pavilion. I mean, I've seen dried crab and fish and all kinds of stuff there. That worries me a little bit. Anyway, stay tuned. Sometime in March 2018, you will see that video. So thank you so much for listening this week. As always, I greatly appreciate it. And if you know someone who would love to see me embarrass myself when that Facebook video does indeed come out, please let them know about the show. Let them know how to subscribe to it and review it and rate it and all that good stuff. Okay, there will be a new episode of the Ear to There Disney Podcast each and every Monday morning. And there will be a new episode of some kind of Ear to There Podcast episode each and every Wednesday morning. I haven't really announced what's coming on Wednesdays just yet. But I will say we will have a change coming soon to a Wednesday. All right, so thank you again so much for listening. Until next time, have yourself a merry little week. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.